Okay, so we're doing the first episode of Desert Standard TV here. That's not true. I did some crap in the past, but I'm trying to get a little bit more serious about it. I've got Greg Taylor here. We're going to be talking about music today. A couple weeks ago, Greg helped put on Desert Bloom with a number of fine individuals. I was invited to come down and DJ, played some records, and then some very talented people came on afterwards and you know, really kind of blew my mind. So, you know, Greg, why don't just start off, you give a little bit of background about yourself, where you're coming from musically and professionally, what have you, and we'll kind of take it from there.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Professionally, I'm a digital marketer and a concert photographer, so I shoot a lot of music. And music has just been a huge part of my life always. You know, I grew up listening to R&B and soul and jazz, you know, with my parents, and it just progressed, you know, throughout the years, you know. Went through my punk rock phase like everybody else. Sure. And, and you know, the stuff that I'm into now is, you know, just good, you know, rock and roll stuff. Just good stuff with a good beat, good lyrics. And Desert Bloom there was a lot of that at Desert Bloom. And then there was a lot of music that necessarily was never my genre of music that I really got into. But it was amazing how much I enjoyed listening to everybody playing, and how a couple people who I knew, you know, professionally from the, you know, creative community here in Phoenix really took it to the next level and just blew us away.
Very cool. Very cool. So Desert Bloom, what's kind of the background behind, how did you get involved? What's the whole scope of the project, and you know, kind of where's it going?
Yeah, Desert Bloom, in a nutshell, was a music showcase at Gangplank in Chandler. And I got involved because I met Josh Streble, one of the founders of Gangplank, at Azima, a marketing event. And he knew what I did with shooting photos of music, and he knew that I had a musical background. And he asked me to become a part of a committee to bring music to Gangplank. So with doing that, I met Derek Neighbors. And Derek introduced me to Nick DiBiase and Brandon Franklin, and the three of us just kind of, you know, we just kind of brainstormed about what would be the coolest thing to do. Let's bring a bunch of people that we know who maybe don't have a venue to play or anything like that, and let's let them show off their talents one Friday night at Gangplank, and let's just kind of see what happens.
Very cool, very cool. I can tell you from being there, it definitely blew all of my expectations out of the water. I wasn't sure what I was going to be walking into, but it was definitely a lot of fun, and definitely kind of changed my opinion about music in Phoenix and what's kind of happening. Why do you care? Why did you put some effort into doing this?
Well, I think that, you know, just being around the music scene since I moved here in 1997, going to Long Longs and Nitas and sailing and things like that, we just all felt that it was time to kind of give back to the community and open up different avenues to people who maybe necessarily don't have a place to play, or, you know, some super talented people that maybe nobody knows about their talent. You know, guys like, you know, Johnny Dudley, who, you know, just moved here from Tacoma, you know, a year and a half ago, you know, just plugging himself into the music scene. You know, guys like, you know, Ward Andrews, you know, one of the designers from design.org, and Jason Ayers, you know, guys who DJing, you know, at Gangplank using their iPad, kind of mixing up, you know, the tech and the creative, you know, with the music, and just really making a statement and just killing it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That was some very interesting stuff. As far as the Phoenix music scene in general goes, you know, there seems to be this kind of a drain to LA. that tends to happen once a band kind of starts hitting it. They head off to LA to actually, make a living out of it. And it seems to really affect the scene here. What's kind of your take on the LA drain and maybe things that we can do to prevent it?
Yeah. I think that, as a professional musician, the migration to LA or Austin is natural. We're not LA. We're not Austin. We're Phoenix. And what we're trying to do is give our market its own identity. And that was another part of, the Gangplank, Desert Bloom stuff. But every time that a big band kind of dips out of Phoenix and goes to LA, I think everybody feels it. And we're all like, we just took 2 steps back. Like when Z-Trip, one of the best DJs, one of the nicest dudes I've ever met, he bounces to go to LA to do his thing and to, make a real go at it. That really set the hip-hop and the turntables community back.
Sure.
A couple steps here. Do I fault Zach for doing that? No, of course not. But at the same time, if we have a stronger community around that, somebody can pick up the slack a little bit.
Okay. What, to talk towards that, then what can people actively do to help build a music community?
I think that a couple of the biggest things that you can do is just show up. I mean, when you hear of a band playing in a bar down the street from your house, or even if you got to come from Central Phoenix to Tempe, or from Tempe to Central Phoenix to go check out a band, do it. Make a night out of it. Grab 3 or 4 of your friends, and go there. Don't whine about a $3, $5, or $10 cover charge. You know what? That money keeps those guys here for the time that we have them, and it's super important that we all just turn out in numbers and lend our support. Other thing is, if they're selling, their CD at the show, pick up a copy of a CD. I know you're going to burn it and make it MP3s right away, but you know what? That $5 is going to put gas in their car so that they can get maybe from the rhythm room to the sail in or, whatever. I just think that the biggest thing you can do is show up in numbers and support it. And tell them that you like their stuff. If you like their music, when they're coming off stage, loading out, tell them that. I mean, that goes a long way for these dudes.
Okay. Who specifically is making it happen in Phoenix right now? Who's hot? Who do you suggest people go and check out?
Well, if you're a hip-hop fan, the Blunt Club at the New Yucca Tap Room is going off every Thursday night. That's a hot place to be. Other bands, like the indie alt-rock type thing that, definitely keep your eye on is Kinch, What Laura Says, Dry River Yacht Club, Black Carl. If you've never seen any of those bands, do yourself a favor and check them out. They're always playing here in the Valley, and you might even, you'll probably even get lucky because since those bands are pretty tight, they'll be playing together. So, it's not uncommon for all 3 of them, to be on a bill together. Come check them out. They play all over the Valley.
Very cool. I'll be sure to get some links and info from you, and we'll put that in the show liners. What venues are hot? I mean, everybody knows Marquee, Celebrity, Dodge, the huge venues. What are some of the smaller bars, some of the smaller places to go and check out stuff that you would never thought were in Phoenix?
Well, the Rhythm Room is always a good spot, and that's in Central Phoenix. One of my favorite places to see a band. The Sail-In always has good music.
Where's that at?
The Sail-In is on 1st Street in Farmer and Tempe.
Okay.
Club 910, it used to be Boston's on McClintock, just north of the 202, just reopened.
Okay.
Long Long's on Apache, and like McClintock and Tempe, always having good music. There's tons of other stuff going on, like, even in the art community, like Trunk Space, all downtown stuff. There's music happening all over the place. I mean, you pick up a New Times on Thursday, it's going to lay it out for you for the next week.
Okay. So, I think we're getting about to the point where we should wrap this thing up.